This is where it gets interesting, right? This is where it gets interesting. So I've got two sort of interesting bits of sort of information here, right? First of all, we've got a historical chart, which I can sort of make a bit bigger for us to be able to see. We've got a historical chart of growth of CEO pay in America. But what's interesting, right, is if you look at the y-axis, we do not actually have a sort of dollar unit of measurement. Instead, the unit of measurement is the ratio of average CEO comp to average production worker comp. Okay. Now, what's really interesting, as you can probably see, is there is a very kind of sort of flat. It's very flat to start with between sort of 1950 all the way up to kind of the let's say 1980s. It was between sort of 30 to 50, right? Creeping up slowly, definitely creeping up slowly. But just look at how much it's exploded recently. I mean, that really has, become huge in its value now. It's really, really shot up, which is pretty, it's pretty daunting almost that it's kind of done this, right? It's pretty daunting. And so we have to ask ourselves, what are the drivers behind this? What are the drivers behind this? We know it can't be purely macroeconomic, right? Because the global economy has not grown that much. Yet somehow the ratio of the CEO compensation to production worker compensation has gone up. Does this mean CEOs have become more skillful? Does this mean for some reason CEO wages inflate more than workers' wages? No, that's probably what we're going to end up saying. But it's pretty remarkable, It's pretty we're going to pick this apart in a second. But before we do that, I just want to draw your attention as well to a article headline from the 5th of February 2024, so quite recently, right? So a famous sort of attorney general in America blocked Elon Musk's 55.8 billion pay package, which Tesla's board of directors had approved in a process that she thought was flawed, right? No CEO of a publicly traded US company has ever been paid this much for 1 year's work, which tracks corporate leadership data. So Elon Musk was about to break a record for biggest sort of pay package ever, right? And it was blocked because it was essentially seen as, I mean, the truth is, it was really blocked because it was seen as not right. Yeah, it was blocked because it was seen as unjust. It was seen as unfair. It was seen as, not right, essentially. And this, you might kind of be kind of like, sort of like, okay, well, that's good. No one should be paid that much, so it makes sense. But if you think about the legal system in the existence of the states, it is actually, quite a harsh block that they've done. It is quite a harsh block that they've done. And so we end up asking ourselves, whether or not this is truly kind of fair, right? Whether or not this is justified in the economy, here. And this is where we have to start to pick apart the incentives behind it. Okay. This is where we really have to pick apart incentives a bit more.